Let's talk about your voicing, because you do obviously Peter, you do Stewie, you do Brian, which is the one that takes the least, right?
Yeah,
That's basically you.
Yeah, when you call Seth's house, I've made the observation, when you call Seth's house, Brian the dog answers the phone.
Right.
And when you introduce him to people at parties, they go, dude, that's the dog.
Right. And you are a marvelous performer, as far as
Knock it off, you.
no, really, as far as an animation performer, I've never heard anybody as good as you. Where do these characters come from? I mean, obviously, Peter is your love of Gleason.
Yeah, Peter is a combination of. There's a lot of Gleason in Peter.
And Archie Bunker.
And Archie Bunker. There's the voice itself comes from. There was a security guard who worked at the Rhode Island School of Design where I went to college. Just this big, big, thick Rhode Island accent. Everything was said at this volume. Absolutely no self-editing whatsoever. And it just, the guy could read the phone book and it made me laugh. Because it really is, that New England, Massachusetts, Rhode Island accent is the most hideous thing on the planet.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
It's so awful.
And what about Stewie?
Stewie,
how did you come up with the idea of a very highly sophisticated gay baby?
Well, it's funny. The gay thing came much later in the game, or the possibility that he might be gay came much later in the game.
Well, in America, if you're sophisticated, you're gay.
Yeah. And if you're British, you're gay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
But he, I was as we've talked about this, a big musical fan. My Fair Lady.
Oh.
Yes. How's that song go, Bill?
No. Right, he is Professor Henry Higgins.
Yes, that Rex Harrison, the character actor, always just amused me, I had in college I had sort of worked up an impression of Rex Harrison in order to get girls, and
That's sad.
What works on the ladies better than a Rex Harrison impression, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think that's why Rex Harrison used it.
Yeah, there's a great line. I read the biography of Alan J. Lerner, who is the lyricist. You know what I'm talking about. And there was, I guess, he and Rex Harrison were strolling through Hyde Park one day during the development of that show, and they were both talking about the trouble they were having with their wives. And Rex, who obviously was later turned out to be gay, said,
I say, Alan, wouldn't it be marvelous if we turned out to be homosexuals?
and you got the sense in reading that, I'm like, God, this is one guy kind of putting the bone out there, so to speak. And the other guy probably going, yeah, that'd be pretty funny, Rex. This is my hotel. I'm going to take off.
But there's also a snobby element to the baby. That's what kills me. I was watching the one the other night I told you where they open a nightclub. Or no, they're going to, it's Frank Sinatra Jr.
Yeah.
Right, they have a classy club, and then Stewie takes over and makes it into, it's called Place now, Brian. Big, small P, big L. Now it becomes a douchebaggy place.
Yeah.
How did you think of that to make a baby a snob?
Well, originally when I was sketching out the characters for the show, most of the characters, it was sort of the voice that came first, and Peter looked. I drew that character to look like the way he sounded to me, based on nothing more than just a visceral reaction to what I was doing on paper. Stewie originally had just drawn like just a stupid-looking baby, and like the pinwheel hat and whatnot.
Yeah, that head is very distinctive.
Yeah, well, originally, it's just in looking at it, the name was the only thing that was the same. And I thought, God, there's got to be something funny here that, nobody's this is going to be a secondary character. Nobody's going to really pay any attention to this guy. And I'm like, Rex Harrison was always so funny to me. Why don't I just do that voice and make it the baby? And the idea of him trying to kill his mother was a short step from there because all British people are evil. And, or at least they should be if there's any justice.